Zergy is ready.
All right.
Good evening. This is SNN, the Sorcerer's News Network. You're not even remotely close to around-the-clock Disney Sorcerer's Arena news, reactions, reviews, theory crafting, and more source. I'm Sir Georges, your host, along with celiac Sarah. Welcome,
Hey.
Sarah.
How are you?
I'm good. And we welcome to the show tonight the evil Emperor Zerg as our guest. Welcome, Zerg.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah. As always, we start the show with your SNN headline news. And we have a content update from last week. And then a content update today. And it looks like some big news is going to be coming around the corner with update 30. But let's go over the August 5th update, which allowed many people to finally get Elsa or finally get the unlocked potential of a 6 or 7 star.
7.
7.
all or nothing, man.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Where is yours at, Zerg?
I got her to 7.
Nice. This
You
time?
did?
Yes, I did not get her the first time. I'm all about focus, and I was still focused on my kingdom team at the time, and I refused to get off that train. And I'll tell you, I regretted it immediately.
You should have come with me.
I should have, but I suffered through it, and I learned to fight the team. So hey, there's that. But I got her 7-star this time around. I pushed really hard. So
I got mine to 6-star. So I'm the weak Elsa of the group.
6, but you didn't get her last time.
I did not get her last time. I got her 6-star this time.
What was holding you back? Olaf?
Olaf and Sven, because I don't refresh my grand campaign energy. So like by the first one, I had everybody else 5-star, but I couldn't get both of them up to 5-star. And then by this one, I just barely got them to 6-star in time. Because I only get a couple tokens a day because I'm not refreshing. So
You got to do the one at a time.
I know. I've heard testimonies that theory is working.
I switched, so iMac. You know iMac.
I do. He's the one that told me.
And yeah, I told him to switch, and right away he saw a difference.
He said it's working, and he said that you guys were
Zerg
about the
doubts
same.
me.
well, one at a time never worked. Not for me. Small doses, yes. And I used to do most of my farming in the morning, right? I would get up, make my coffee, sit down and do it all. And I actually, I get the deluxe VIP. I spend a little bit. So I'll do the 3 grand refreshes. Oh, thank you, Jesse. Cup of coffee.
Nice.
So I do the 3 grand refreshes, and I was doing them all in the morning and getting terrible results, just like 7 shards, 6 shards, and when I'm putting that much effort into it, I want a little bit more. So what I did was I started doing 2 in the morning and then letting it build all day, and then doing 2, at 7 o'clock when we get the free energy, at least while I was, doing the frozen grind, because Sven and Olaf, the only way to get it done was to go into the 200s a little bit. But anyways, by splitting it up and by doing it in like 4s or 5s, I had much better results. I was getting like 7 in the morning, 5 or 6 at night, and that really pushed me over. I managed to get it done in like the 4th day of the event, something like that. So
very nice. 7-star.
Yeah, the 7-star.
7-star.
Yeah.
I don't think that doing the big all at once is helpful either.
No.
The 5 at a time works okay enough for me that I usually get 1 or 2, sometimes 3. So I haven't been upset with it. But
do you track your daily data at all?
I do not.
No? Okay.
It's all in how I feel.
Do you track it, Zerg?
Yes, more or less. I mean, I keep a lot of information up here. And my average, like when I was doing the Zerg grind previous to this, that was my first real big push when I started the game. And there were days when I was getting like 16, 17, just kind of doing it 5 at a time all at once in the morning.
Mhm.
So that set a pretty high bar. And then when I'm doing the frozen grind, I'm like, why am I getting like 60%, 65%, of what it was in the past? And that's when I decided to kind of make a change. Jesse actually was the one who suggested it, and it worked out beautifully.
Mhm.
So, yeah. But I mean, I think it'll work whether you're, doing the refreshes or not. I mean, if you do smaller doses, you're getting more chances, right? More rolls of the die. And that's really what it comes down to. So whether you're doing 1, 4, 3, 5, doesn't matter. More rolls of the die is better.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then to answer Maelstrom's comment in chat.
Hey, Mail.
Mhm.
He said, does Surgy not even refresh Grand Campaign during bonus currency drops? I do. If there's any kind of bonus thing going on, I do take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Because they're always worth it then.
Totally.
Yeah. Yeah, I tend to go into like excess a little bit sometimes when there's double drops. I get a little crazy.
Yeah.
So it's just too hard. The grind is it's nuts these days.
Mhm.
So reading through the content update now after a week or so,
Mhm.
I remember seeing the meow or meet him Militia just threw in the line of stuff happening a meow.
So random.
Yeah. But now I get that is for Figaro.
Mhm.
Did you guys realize that? Did you guys catch that?
We did caught it. We did catch it, but we thought it was something else. What about you, Sarah?
I was assuming it was going to be aristocrats. I was thinking like I was even like stretching, and I'm like, you could like theoretically link it to like Tigger, and then you could go to Lanala, and like there's all these like cat relations that you could go to. And then we just got a talisman sticker thing.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a letdown, but
it was.
It was cool. It was cool.
Maybe it's like a little like teaser of what's to come.
Now Figaro is the cat from Pinocchio, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I thought so.
So maybe we're gonna get some Pinocchio.
But I mean, that's no different than the Black Cauldron celebration they did and the Beauty and the Beast celebration. I think what that is really just them saying like, look, we're going to get back to this. We know there's a big date. So, here's a talisman. Here's something for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that they don't feel the need to, turn it into a whole event or focus of the month or focus of the season, just throw fun little stuff like that in. I think that the talismans and the emotes are great ways to do that. Even if neither get used very much.
Well, I use emotes all the time. I don't know about you guys. But...
Oh, I never use them.
I ignore them. I don't go so far as to turn it off, but if the person starts emoting me, I sometimes turn it off.
Well, I mean, there are some people who are not very nice with the emoting. I'll be honest, I'm not a fan of the yawning Mr. Incredible. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
But, like when somebody pops the Shan Yu headbutt and gets a massive hit, I give them the hey.
That's
just,
worth it.
Oh my God, what did you do?
Yeah.
So, I try to have fun.
I think I've used it once, and it was when someone was like taunting me because they were winning, and then I obviously came back from behind and won, and I was like,
Ooh,
calm down. Sit down.
That's right. That's how we do it in Sunnyside.
Sit down, calm down. And then I've never used it again.
I love that they're there. I love that they are a thing. I just don't use them much myself.
You know what it is, guys? PvP is such a grind.
Yes.
you gotta have some fun with it. You know, I don't know about you, but are you using the auto method? Either of you guys?
No, I never do. I do them all manually.
Just because it seems like it's going to take me so much longer of my phone time being in use.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, screen time, I agree. But in terms of like stress and, you know, like I'm a parent, right? So I've got 3 kids and I'm able to like make my kids lunch and auto a couple of battles while I'm doing that. And sure, they're probably going to be losses, but guess what? Then I'm going to get the bot and I'm going to get another win. And then my kid's going to want to go out in the pool. So I'm going to sit outside with him for 20 minutes or 30 minutes. And I'm going to auto a few more and get a few more battles. And that's, I mean, in Andy's room, we ask for 5, right? And that's really the only way, if you're busy, the only way to get it done. I mean, I fight the ones that look reasonable. But, you know, even in Challenger, I've been running into Disney Titans. And that's just an automatic, like, nope.
Yeah,
you know?
I haven't gotten high enough yet where I've hit my wall, so to speak. I also have found that for me, if I try and get all my PvP done between 9 and 11 a.m. If I do it any later than that, I don't know what it is. It's like I'm facing way harder people.
Yeah, that's when a lot of people are going to be.
Yeah, but if I do it in the morning, I can usually get we have 3 and I can usually get all 3 in, maybe with like 1 loss. I think I had 2 losses this morning, so I must be getting to my wall. It's coming, but it's usually within like half an hour. I just do it with my coffee while I'm like slowly waking up and, you know.
Yeah. Whenever I wait until I only have like an hour left before the reset or whatever, then that's when it's awful. Like everybody's on.
Yeah. Those last few are just brutal some nights, you know.
Yeah.
And I've got a reminder officer who is not afraid to remind me, let me tell you. And she'll tease me. She'll send me a picture at like, 10 to 12 going, you're still at 4. And I'm like,
So what is the auto method? Is there science to it?
It's more of an art than a science, but basically is, in a nutshell, you're playing for the loss. Okay. You're always going in and pressing auto. And I mean, you don't have to. You can definitely, if you can tell it's a team you're going to beat, then go in and play it and have some fun. But if it's a tier 7 Frozen or a Fro hero or something like that, then just push auto. It's over a lot faster than if you were to try and grind it out. You're going to lose anyway. So just let yourself lose and then let yourself lose again. And after about 4 or 5 losses, the system gives you a pity bot. And even on auto, you can beat that. So that is a good way to rack up some wins while you're not even paying attention. Yes, your phone is on, but you're not even paying attention. You could be doing work. You could be making your kids lunch. You could be doing whatever. So it is a useful method if you can make it work for you.
How long would you say it takes you to get your 5 wins with this method?
Well, like Sarah was saying, the morning is definitely the best time to do it. There's actually, I mean, the system will give you a bot for one of 2 reasons, right? It'll either give you a bot because you've lost 4 or 5 in a row, or it'll give you a bot because no one in your general win-loss ratio is loading in right now.
Yeah, so, I had a bot yesterday, and it was my first match of the day, and I got a bot right away. I was like, all right.
That's because I'm, what are you, in Platinum somewhere?
I think so.
Yeah. So that just means that no one in your division with a similar win-loss was looking for a fight at that point. So the system's like, okay, we're going to give her something. I've been able to get 4, 5, 6, sometimes 7 in a row if I do it, if I time it well, One of my kids doesn't sleep well. So sometimes I'm up 3:30 in the morning, 4:30 in the morning. And let me tell you, it's perfect. I could bang out 10 or 15 while I'm watching a movie with him, just sitting there, sipping coffee at 4 a.m. So
yeah, that's great.
So it can work. It's not the most entertaining, but if you've got a club goal to meet, it's one way to get it done. And it's not a half bad way to earn some gold, which is a huge pinch point, right?
Yes, very true.
Yeah.
But anyways, I'm derailing the conversation. Let's get back to this. Let's get back to your finely written script.
No, we're good. We're good.
Speaking of gold, we had another Scrooge money bin heist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You guys know when the last one we had was?
Oh, before that one?
Yes.
Not off the top of my head, no.
Neither do I, and I did not research it before the show.
Me neither.
But
It feels like it's been a long time though.
Yeah.
I think they try to do it once a month. So it just feels like a long time. Because, I mean, the game's only been out 3 or 4 months. 4 or 5 months. However.
We should get like an event website going.
Yes. You should do that, sir.
Yeah, well,
I didn't mean me, but
well, you know what? Being, like I was saying before the show, being the emperor definitely has a few perks, and I've got a guy for that. You know, I've got a guy for a lot of different things. We've got in-house graphic designer. We've got an in-house podcast. You know, and I'm pretty sure I've got a guy for that. So maybe
maybe we can set one up.
Yeah, maybe we can do something.
Yeah.
You know what? Honestly, we just have the channel with the official news, and when someone asks, I just tend to kind of scroll back or use the search function, and when was the last mention of Scrooge in the official news?
Yeah.
So
good idea. I just did that, and
survey says
haven't found it yet.
Oh man, it's been that long. Yikes.
Womp womp.
Oh, that's why I can't find it yet. They did when the tech stuff happened. So now I'm getting all these Scrooge McDuck updates as well. But anyways, we had a new one and nothing changed. But I love when this comes around because I focused on downtown villains first in the game.
Yeah.
So they aren't 7-star yet, but I did get the 6-star one, just auto, and tons of gold for the couple days it was open. How do you guys fare when it comes around?
Sarah?
Better than I fared last time. I think I do. I don't know which tier it is. I'm only getting like a couple 100,000 every time it comes around.
That sounds mid-level, maybe.
It's definitely mid-level because let me pull up my downtown villains, right? So basically I've realized I am doing the exact same thing I did in Star Wars, and I am completely hero heavy. And this is exactly what happened. We are not doing good with my downtown villains.
Well, they're less of a
they're not good.
Yeah, but they're less essential these days, right?
Yeah, so I have 1 5-star, 2 or 4, and 3 or 3. Yeah, it's bad. It hurts. It hurts to even look at it. And 3 of them are like level 1 with they're like I call them my sacrificial lambs, so I can easily request the moat.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you okay? Otherwise, yeah. So I'm not the downtown villain expert.
Well, I when I first started the game, obviously one of the first things I noticed was Zerg, and I furiously on the internet, how do I get this done? And I found out downtown villains, and despite them not being like, they were the number 2 team at the time, right? This is pre-Incredibles, pre everything on day 1 global launch, and
everybody was waiting for the Zerg event to come around for the first time for launch players.
Yes, and it was 3 months after the soft launch version, right? So I pushed really, really hard on the downtown villains, and I fell a little short. I mean, I got the unlock, but admittedly, I had to spend a little bit in order to get the unlock because, let's be honest, the Zerg event is bad.
Yeah.
The odds on the chests. I know, Sir G, you're a fan of the chest style, and I kind of am too. if the odds were a little better.
Yes, especially the Zerg one where they, you know,
Yeah.
you only get 2 or 3 tokens each time you open that chest.
Yeah, for a 4-star unlock.
Yeah.
Like
no way that first time, without spending like you did, was anybody going to get it.
No. And like I spent on gems to get to that point, and then I got there, and I might have been able to pull it out by the end, but I just said, you know what, early Father's Day present, and I spent the, you know, I can't remember what it was to get the 80 shard pack. It was a lot in Canadian. I know it's less for you Americans, but it hurt. I'll be honest. But I ended up getting him to 5-star the first time around.
Yeah.
And that set me up nicely for the gold. But I made the mistake of going for Pete. Yeah. So I don't know. I think it might have been in like the starter pack or something. But when I started my Zerg journey, I was closer on Pete than I was on Jangles.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, Jangle sucks. I mean, Pete's not great either. But I'm looking at his kit and I'm like, oh, you know, there's a little bit of counterattack. Maybe, you know, Facilier can force a taunt. So I kind of started down that path. But then I'm reading his kit a little more and I'm like, wait a minute, this is like a 5% or something like that counterattack chance. And he's not doing any kind of damage whatsoever. So I only got him to T4. I decided not to invest in gearing them up any farther than that. I mean, my other villains are T5 or 6.
Yeah.
So I have a 6-star Zerg, not 7-star, unfortunately. And I only get to the 6th tier, like the second last tier of the Scrooge event. I think, like you were saying, you do, George. And yeah, I mean, I do all right, but I'm definitely, you know, a little bit sad about that event and what it takes. You know, because I'm going to have to T6 my Pete, and that's just like a dagger in my heart.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
there are better downtown villains out now, thanks to Toy Story 3 Focus.
That's true. So for the newer people coming in, don't make the mistake I made. Don't do it.
I'm going to leave my Pete at tier 1.
Yeah, go for Chunk.
Yeah.
Chunk is the man.
Yeah.
Yes. So
then the other part of that update a week ago was that they added gear to the gold exchange and the token exchange, and the free ad chests now have gear, tier 1 through tier 4. And I think it's a nice little addition. Gear is definitely a crunch in the game. Not because for myself, not because I'm not capable of getting it with currencies, but just the amount of opportunity I have each day. You know, only 4 refreshes of that store. So I've got tons of club currency stacking up in gold that I wish I could use on gear, but haven't been able to just because I haven't had opportunity. So that was a welcome change.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm sorry. Did you just say you have a bunch of gold that you wish you could use on gear?
I do.
How is this possible? Teach me the ways.
So I have pretty much only been focusing on my arena team, which is frozen now. I was doing Kingdom. I did Town Fill-In. Slightly a mistake. So then I pivoted to Kingdom. And then pivoted to Frozen, which I'm happy about now that Elsa finally is
here.
Yeah. And the reason why I said I like to use my gold for the exchange is because I hate farming gear with energy. Like, it's bad enough not getting character tokens to drop, but when you feel like you're wasting energy trying to get gear to drop at even what seems like a worse drop rate.
Yeah.
That's why I like just the tier 2 gear, though. I'll go to the daily exchange and I always buy the offense and health.
Yes.
Tier 2.
Yep.
The dust.
Yes.
Yep. Tier 2 is like, I think I only ever will have like 2, sometimes 3 pieces. Like I can never keep enough.
Yeah. And the essences too. You know, I've got, 175 of the defense essence, the shell essence, but I can't get a heart or a fire to save my life.
Yeah.
They definitely got to work on that. I mean, they've hinted that, gear or tier 8 is coming, and they really got to diversify because every single character more or less needs the same things.
Yeah.
And it's too much now.
The main issue, and like how they can quickly fix it, is the daily challenges that we do.
Yeah.
Just keep the early gear dropping for the later challenges.
Yeah.
Like, because
problem solved.
The dust stops dropping after challenge 3.
Why? I don't get it.
I know. So I, early in the game, got to the final challenges on most of these. And so I was starved for a lot of this tier 2 dust.
Yeah.
And racking up these tier 6 useless stuff because I didn't have anybody strong enough. Yeah, they need to just make that consistent throughout all the challenges. Quickly, problem solved.
Yeah, I agree. It's just like Swaga, there's definitely a challenge gear imbalance going on that they need to address.
Yeah. Any other comments on that update from a week ago?
No, just I love all these economy changes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't have too many complaints, that's for sure.
Right. I am growing fond of glue. I think they're handling community engagement.
GLU. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm like
I love using glue.
Come again? Glue? Yeah, that's no, Paste. George.
Yeah, no, they're how I start my mornings. Little glue in my coffee.
Hey. Whatever gets you through, buddy. Whatever gets you through, man. But no, go on.
Glue Mobile, I am just happy with the decisions they make, how they have followed through after launch with very frequent updates to the game. And it doesn't always feel like everything is either we're doing a big cash grab or here's one or two little things that nobody cares about. Now, with that said, though, I do have a gripe. My only gripe is that with the new events they come out with, they make the bar of entry way too high. That you have to spend to even participate a lot of the time.
Yeah, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's almost like they need more marquees, Yeah. Because we have to spend just to get the character to get into the event we want.
Yeah. The Stitch one is the biggest culprit.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And like I'm all for, the idea that the whales and the krakens, they pay for the game. I get it. I played Star Wars for years. So I don't mind that they have first crack at certain things, the way that, again, I can't believe I'm saying this, but like the way that Jedi Knight Revan was in Swagat, like if you were not super, super, super prepared or spending, you didn't have them the first time. And if you had them, you owned the game for about 3 months or however long it was, and I'm okay with that model. Okay, I'm all right with that model as long as after that period they start pushing things out or they push out characters free to play that work as some kind of counter. Maybe not a hard counter, but at least some kind of soft counter. So that is a sustainable model. But if there's no new content and all they're doing is pushing out, these events where you're like, you gotta pay to get the marquee character in order to move on, then it becomes, like when that's repeated too many times, that becomes a little bit, frustrating. I've had a couple of people in the Alliance kind of cocking an eye going, hey, wait a minute. But they've been so good on so many other things. The communication, they do seem to respond and listen a hell of a lot better than, CG ever did. So I have faith. Even to the naysayers in our Alliance, which, is 250 people plus now. yeah, I still tell them I have faith.
Yeah.
So
Sounds good. Then
all right, what's next?
This week they just announced today.
Woohoo.
No pictures, they're not
Mhm.
and not a lot of detail, but the Scar Lion King event is coming back
Mhm.
with 2 new tiers. So if you were topping out and wanted more tiers, which means the new tiers are going to have gear requirements. Because I think
Right.
it already had 7-star character requirements.
Yeah.
So now it'll be gear.
Yeah, I think these will just be, you know, bonus tiers.
Yeah.
Better gear drop rates
Mhm.
and better character drop rate. That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
Intergalactic Rune Rumble is coming back. That's what gives you the rune material for upgrading your abilities.
Mm.
Then the Stitch Tower is coming back. Now that will be the 3rd time the Stitched Tower has come back in what, a month? Like a whole month?
Yeah.
We've had 3 times or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's been 2 weeks in between.
Mhm.
So if they're going to run it every 2 weeks, right on.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's
Agreed.
one of those things where it needs to be that often.
Yeah, agreed. There was a lot of
It's only
chatter.
open 2 days.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there was a lot of chatter about how if this was going to be a rare or seasonal event, that the bar was way too high. And I'm really glad that GLU has you know, made good on the like, no, this is going to be often, because I mean, I'm currently, now that my frozen grind is done, I'm grinding Oceanic.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not as far ahead as some people are, but you know, the fact that it's, I mean, I'll be ready, I think, to beat Tower 2 this next running. So I'm definitely appreciating the frequency of it. And that team is shaping up to be something else. Maybe not, you know, the top tier, but they're definitely shaping up to be some kind of force to be reckoned with.
Cool. Yeah, I like the emerging variety in strong teams coming up.
I like it.
So everybody needs to get your Cobra bubbles built up in your Captain Gantu. Yeah, don't sleep on those, because this
especially Gantu.
Yeah. Now, when this you're good. When this event comes back, I don't recall. Do you have to play through the first tower up to where you were last time, or do you get to start at the same spot you left off last time?
You do not.
So that's a change that they should probably.
I'd appreciate that, yeah. But historically, I mean, look at the other events, the coin events. You do not get to replay the earlier tiers. And I'll admit, the first time that I was faced with that fact, I was not happy. But I kind of see the sense of it now, like long-term economy of the game. If they're going to try and make money off of, you know, like Onward, before those characters were made farmable, you know, if they were going to make money off of that long term, they couldn't let you just go back and redo it, because after the second run of the event, you'd be pushing at 6 or 7 stars and you would not be motivated to spend it all.
Yeah.
Sure.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, so,
well, the Stitch Tower, I mean, like being able to start at Tower 3 because you got to that point last time.
Yeah, I think this one's a little different, and it's got a lot more merit for sure.
Yeah.
And then they said that the update 13 is right around the corner.
Yeah.
No details about that. Do you guys have any inside information?
I wish.
No inside information. But I mean, I've got a guy for a lot of different things, or girl, I'll be honest. Okay. I mean, some of my most potent weapons are women, let me tell you. But no, I mean, they did allude to the fact that there was going to be tier 8 coming and a level cap increase.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know what kind of time frame. I mean, none of us do really. But maybe that might be a part of update 13. You know.
Yep, that's good theory.
I like it.
Then that's all of the news given to us from the developers. So, next let's talk about Sarah. I'm afraid I've been thinking.
Dangerous pastime.
I know. Welcome to our Afraid I've Been Thinking segment, where we give our thoughts on how you can improve the game from the very basics of how RPG mechanics work, the deepest theory crafting ideas. And today we are going to discuss oceanic characters. Been a big, strong focus of them lately. And, we're just talking about Stitch, and they released a Moana event. So we've got some footage from an Alliance teammate, Alt Delete, using his Oceanic squad versus a Frozen team. Now, what are your guys' thoughts on Oceanic in the game?
Sarah, why don't you go ahead?
I am excited for them. I'm glad I didn't veer left for them. I will say I'm glad I didn't veer left for them. This is the other thing is I think right now it's still very early with Oceanic. I haven't run into too many full Oceanic squads, and even the ones that have hybrid Oceanic squads, I can still pretty easily beat, at least at my level. And I think part of that has to do with because we don't have Stitch yet where he probably needs to be to make them really I don't want to say a powerhouse team, because I don't even know if they're going to be super, super powerhousey. I think they're going to be strong, though. I think they're going to be probably a solid B, A- type squad. So yeah, what are you thinking, Zerg? I know you have opinions.
I do. Well, I've got opinions about everything, but the guy who provided the footage is a key member in our alliance, and he's one of the few people that you might call a Zerg whisperer. Okay. he's who I go to when I have a difficult question, and we've been talking a little bit about the Oceanic team, and my money initially was that this looks like the next big thing. Moana looked ridiculous. The synergy is, I think, as strong almost as the Frozen team. Exactly. So with the damage, I know it's a slow team, but it's a damage focused team, and it's like a better version of the Downtown Villains. In that regard. So I was kind of hoping that they would be the one to dethrone Elsa. I mean, clearly it needs to happen just for the health of the game. But Alt is not convinced, and he may be kind of turning my opinion on this as well. His vote seems to be for tech, and when you look at Heroes leadership, if the big Hero 6 characters have got any kind of decent base speed, we are in some serious trouble.
And I will say to that tech point, so I haven't faced a full-blown tech squad since getting my Frozen squad to 7-star. But I did face them when I had Elsa at 5. And it was hard. I had to, I either just barely, I only faced one and I just barely won, or I died miserably. But it was the most frustrating squad I've ever played against in this game.
Yeah, I agree. They've taken me by surprise a couple of times in Conquest, less so in PvP. It's very run-of-the-mill in PvP, but in Conquest, we see some very interesting things in Andy's room. And those tech teams, do not sleep on those. Yeah. They are, and this is just version 1, Right. Gizmo is great, but he's probably long-term destined to be the leader of the number 2 tech team, right?
Right.
Just like Ariel is probably going to be the leader, at least for the time being, of the number 2 Oceanic team.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, when we get the full tech lineup, I mean, part of the reason we're having a hard time with it is because we're not familiar with it. We don't have enough reps. You know, I can do pretty well against most Frozen teams now. I still tend to lose, but I do pretty well with, you know, my kingdom against Frozen because I've had so many months to practice.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's really what Tech and Oceanic have going for them right now, is the unfamiliar aspect. You're still not sure what's going to happen next, you know, and there's just all these shields and all this regeneration and evasion going on, and it's maddening. It takes me back to like the Dooku dodge meta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I'm getting a little bit of PTSD going, oh my God. You know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they look solid.
Yeah, I think Oceanic is doing great. I think we're not seeing as much of them just because not as many people are getting strong built teams yet. Because, you know, Stitch, it's going to be hard for you to have a strong Stitch. You have to get him from his tower event. And so I think just because of the timing, you know, everybody's going to start seeing a ton of Frozen. So it's going to seem like Frozen's going to be even more of the meta now. Just because more people are going to be unlocking that team. And
100%.
Oceanic, if people had the parts, I think they've got potential to compete. Because just from watching Alt Delete's footage, he's doing great on offense versus a Frozen team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I don't know if you've seen all the footage. He does have footage of a failure as well.
I have not seen failures.
No, we thought it important to show both sides of the coin. It is not necessarily a slam dunk.
Gotcha.
You know, although, you know, we've got the Fro hero, which is, you know, kind of the top of the game right now.
Yeah.
Mo hero could do that kind of damage. That could be the slam dunk, you know, in the right hands anyway. So yeah, I mean, it always comes down to hero and dash, the 2 plug and plays, right?
Yes.
So
yeah, I've been encountering hero a lot, and like, if anybody is broken in the game, hero is the number one. My pick. You can stick them on any team. You can have a 3 or 4 star well-geared hero. And just from giving, you know, the top damage dealer of the opponent team, giving them the full free turn with his turn meter ability. Evasion up on everybody. That added protection. What's it called? Shield? Yeah.
The shield.
Oh, yeah.
Shield on everybody. When like me fighting him, what is this little 3-star hero? What?
Yeah.
Who does he think he is coming in here and stealing the whole show, giving everybody this shield and evasion and free turn plus a bonus. What is it, like, depending on what type of character they are? Doesn't he give offense up to attackers or something?
Yeah, he gives offense up to attackers, I think defense up, and it might be haste to supports. I can't remember.
Yes.
I've only got him at 2-star, and I'm not investing anything in him quite yet because I'm a focus guy, so I'm all focused on that one thing, and then when I'm done that, then I can turn and, you know, change focus. But,
if I had the resources and I felt like sparing them, I would definitely invest in him, even though he's a crappy 2-star character for me. Just because he seems to change every single team he's on.
Yeah, 100%. And I would suggest when he comes back, like, despite being the focus guy, whatever you're doing, drop what you're doing, do what you can to get hero as high as you can, you know, free to play or not. He is a must have, much more than Dash is.
Yeah. He is bonkers.
So
Man.
So let's move on to the Can You Feel the Love Tonight segment.
I can. I can. I feel the community love, the sunny side love.
Yeah.
Because I told them if they're not here, they're getting a strike in the morning.
So a lot of these types of shows and podcasts eventually devolve into a lot of complaining, whether it's with the developer or just lack of content. But we try to run a positive show. So each time we come on, we try and point out what we have been enjoying, what we have been loving about playing. I can start.
Yeah.
So getting Elsa was great. Not so much that she changed too much. Like I like having the added stun, but just getting the full team of Frozen feels good. And like you said, Sarah, I think Olaf is underrated.
He's so underrated.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I just had this conversation actually with a clubmate, and because he was talking about who he was going to swap out, and I was like, no man, he's so underrated. And my exact words were, slap a speed stone on that bad boy. Yeah. And I am forever going to refer to Olaf as that bad boy now. He's so underrated.
Yeah. Because the tactics for 2 turns.
Yeah.
Yes. Tactics is one of, I mean, people are catching on now, but it's one of the most underrated buffs in the game.
Oh, yeah.
And he's also got the best debuff in the game.
Charm.
So, and the little guy just won't die.
Yeah.
No. Oh man.
So
you guys, you should hear how I cackle every time he comes back. Like I audibly am cackling at my phone whenever he comes back. Like
in my first like 4 or 5 battles against Frozen, I figured that one out, and I'm like, no, oh my god, no. So, but I mean, I can't, unless it's a seriously undergeared team, I just can't do it. Even with a strong, like I've got a 3,500 Kingdom team, and I, still struggle against like a 2,900 Frozen team sometimes. If the RNG goes their way, forget it.
Yeah.
So
I've loved having my Frozen team. I specifically love how Sven is the real hero.
Yeah.
I mean, he kills everybody. You just get a few buffs on him, get a few turns of
and tactics on him.
Yes. I like to do that.
Oh man!
So that every time he does his special, he's getting 2 crit. What's it called? Guaranteed.
Oh yeah,
crits.
his little
guaranteed crit. Yeah.
The bullseye.
So it's like the match looks even, or it looks like the enemy might even be winning. But then instantly, just one after another, you get killed by Sven. Then Kristoff takes his turn, does his basic. Another kill from Sven.
Yep.
It's so good.
I mean, Elsa gets all the glory because, she stands in the back and kind of builds up and builds up and builds up and then drops a nuclear warhead. Yeah. But the one doing all the heavy lifting, that's Sven. It really is. He's the one that primes them.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He's the one who gets you on your knees so that you're bowing before the queen, and then the queen comes in and goes boom and ends you.
Yeah, totally.
So,
and I got my Sven to gear 6, which really helps his recovery. So now he's healing for over 1,000 Kristoff every time he does his special.
Oh, so nice.
Hadn't really considered that.
It's a game changer.
He's who I'm gearing right now.
His ability to heal Kristoff is huge.
Yeah, that's the thing, because as long as you can keep Kristoff there, because I find even in mirror matches, if I can get around Kristoff, my favorite thing to do is to charm Elsa when she's got the 4 spirits and is about to be empowered her next turn.
Oh yeah.
So it's just like you just sit there and cackle because her bonus AoE that she takes right away is just wasted on her own team. So Yeah, but the key thing is being able to get around Kristoff to do that, right? And his taunts. So if he's still there taunting, then obviously.
Sounds
Mortal
like you've been
potion for
doing
the
a lot
win.
of cackling lately.
Oh, all of the cackling. It happens. It's a thing. It's happening. Especially now, I also am loving Elsa because she's 7-star for me now. So it's a nice. I haven't noticed. That's a lie. I haven't noticed too much of a difference, but I have like noticed a difference in terms of just like how hard she hits, and there's like she doesn't even come close to dying now. Like it's just she's good. She's golden. Yeah, I'm really enjoying my cackling though. I will say it is a little sad that there are more frozen squads in my tournament.
That's the trade-off, right?
That's the trade-off. I will have to unfortunately put up with that.
Yeah, I haven't seen too much of a change in my shard yet, but I sit usually between the top 10 and top 20. So all those people already have frozen. They're, I'm seeing them go purple now. The ones that haven't already, like the top 10 or 13 or so are pretty much purple front to back. And occasionally I can get in there with my 1 T7, but usually I live between 10 and 20. And like I said, all those people have already got it done. So I think I'm going to start seeing a lot more challengers. I'm going to get pushed back more because there's going to be a lot more people coming up behind me. I know my wife, who is a club leader in the Alliance, she and we started the game about an hour and a half apart, and we ended up in the same shard. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, it's great. It's really great because there are a couple of snipers, and we are able to fight back.
Yeah.
I like that.
So she has definitely. I mean, she was always doing well, but she's like right there with me now, and we're 1-2 punching people if we have to. We're not mafia style, but well, I mean, like, because they show you with a little arrow who's moving at what time.
Yeah.
Over time, you get an idea of whose payout is when, right?
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure some of these guys know, Emperor Zurg is moving around 2100, 9 p.m. EST. And like, if you're going to hit me, guess what? I'm going to hit you back.
Right.
Yeah.
If you're going to hit me while I'm moving. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And they are learning, let me tell you. But what's more effective for that? It's not tourney so much. Conquest.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I know we're gonna get into it.
Yes, we'll get to that.
We're gonna get into conquest.
So, okay, so the thing that I'm feeling the love for, I already alluded to, and maybe this is a little bit old, but it's the economy changes. Maybe it's a bit of a hot take, but I'm not going to be pushing my frozen team too much farther. Okay, this is the part where I hope the rest of my club is not here listening. Because
do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah, I'm telling them to get it done, but no, I'm actually going to go back and finish my Kingdom team. They're pretty close to tier 7. I've already got Shan there, so I'm just going to do the last couple, get that done, and then probably frozen T7 at that point, unless something huge changes. But it's the economy changes. The grind was so bad. It was so bad, even for me, spending a little bit, and I still felt like I was in quicksand, just struggling and struggling and struggling. So when they announced, even though I know, there's more coming down the road and the grind will get tough again, it really felt good at the time, and I'm still kind of living in that euphoric state, just like, oh my god, I have so many club, I'm just extra this and extra that. So the economy changes. And also, I mean, Elsa as well. I've had 4/5 of a team, and I was playing Jack Sparrow in her place.
Oh, okay. How did that?
I mean,
it's not the same.
It is not the same at all. I mean, it did okay. for what it was. If you were trying to kind of punch even or punch down, it was fantastic. It's a double charm team, and Sven was doing enough damage that I could take out most teams. But getting Elsa in there and then getting her up to tier 6, I had a lot of the stuff saved up. Getting her. I mean, I just got her there yesterday, and I mean, the event is it even still? Is it over now?
The Elsa one is still going.
Is it?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Okay, for another day or two.
Maybe I've just been. Oh yeah, it is. 4 days.
Oh wow. Okay.
4 days and 4 hours.
Earlier than I thought.
I definitely thought it was over.
The event's still running because as soon as you log in.
Oh yeah.
They're trying to sell me.
Elsa, the pack.
Every time I change a screen, here, buy this.
Buy the Elsa pack.
Yeah. So I'm definitely appreciating her, but the being able to move a little faster and get that tier 7 crunch done, and being able to move on to the next thing, because as I said earlier, I'm all about focus. So I set a goal and I will not stop until I get to that point. I just, build tall, not wide.
Yeah.
Right?
Smart.
So I made that mistake in Star Wars. I'm pretty sure we all did.
We all did.
Sarah's left turns are kind of famous. And I did it too. But no, I definitely gotta get it done, especially right now when the roster as a whole is still relatively small. I mean, Swaga's got like 180, 190.
Over 200, I think.
Over 200 now.
It's something ridiculous because it started with like what 140, I want to say 150.
Yeah, it did start high.
Not even to mention ships. Ships is a
Then you have ships.
That's a bad word. That's a bad word. Language, sir.
Bad. And I find that right now with Disney, I don't even want to say it's hard to build tall. It feels harder because there aren't as many characters readily available to you. But at the same time, it feels easier because the gear crunch, the money crunch, like everything is just so crunched that you're like, you don't really have an option here. Like you can only build in one area, which is kind of a blessing in disguise.
That's how I look at it. The blessing in disguise. I really do. And like, if you focus hard, even as a free to play, if you focus hard, you can get it done. Even if your goal is only tier 6, and as a free to play, I think that's probably, an acceptable goal to set, tier 6 for most things, unless it's your tourney team, maybe even tier 5. But whatever your goal is, go aggressively to that point and then be decisive, pick a new lane and stick to it and get that next goal done. Right.
Yeah.
And because the roster is relatively small, even though you're staying on point, you're still, you're making good progress overall, like in terms of, for the people who are more collectors. You're still making pretty good progress in terms of having the full collection. So, because there are a lot more token opportunities in this game, I find, than there are in Swaga. Maybe that's a bit of a hot take, but I mean, they're literally throwing tokens at us. Granted, usually
I think it's easier to farm in Swaga than it is in this game.
Well, I mean, I don't know though. Is it?
With
energy, you're a veteran. Yes, but I'm thinking of the whole thing, like with the shops and energy and everything. At this point, the shops still have good stuff in them for us. Whereas Swaga, you look at the shop and you're like, I've either got it or it's trash.
True.
True. So that's kind of where I'm coming from, on this one. But I do see your point. I do.
Yeah, that's the only thing that I dislike is that we don't have as many opportunities to get gems in this game without taking those play different game offers. Because in Star Wars, I'm going to use the ship word again. Once Ship Arena started giving crystals, where you can potentially get 900 crystals a day. And if you're not going for number one,
the Dark Lord is not happy.
Oh.
Even if you're not getting number one in both arenas of Star Wars, and let's say you're just getting top 20, you're still getting more crystals in that game than you are gems this game.
Yeah.
Yes, you are.
But the refreshes cost the same.
Yeah. My crystal buildup in Star Wars is considerably faster than it is here.
Yeah, in a way, I almost feel like, because of the pace that I've been setting since the start, I feel almost obligated to keep buying my deluxe VIP every month.
Right.
You know, but at the same time, that's the thing I was always asking for in Swagga was like a monthly. I think I remember them doing that briefly, and then they had to cancel that sort of crystal subscription.
Yeah, they refused to do it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think there was some kind of trouble with Apple or something like that. I don't remember exactly. That was my very early days of Swagga.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But so I appreciated the fact that there was a subscription, but I was still very wide-eyed and like, ooh la, you know. So I got the subscription for the first or the VIP for the first couple of months, and the pass holder the first month.
Mm-hmm.
And happily got to work on my Zerg, which, you know, as you alluded to, that was a bit of a mistake in the beginning. You really should go straight at Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
So I started going at Downtown Villains and realized, you know, if I want to compete, I'm going to have to put a little something into Kingdom here. And the only way to do that in short order was, guess what? Open my wallet.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
Right.
So this game seems to be a lot better at getting me to open my wallet.
Yeah,
it really
I
does.
can see that.
It almost feels like, I don't know what the right. It almost feels like they offer more like value packs kind of thing. Like in when I think of Star Wars, I think of buying a vault, and I think of like whaling and spending, you know, $140 Canadian to get all of these crystals all at once, because you want to like get the most bang for your buck. And I feel like in this game they have all these little like value packs, and they're considerably less money, so it's easier for me mentally to open my wallet, so to speak,
for a smaller amount.
For a small, I would be like, yeah, I can spend that $10 on this, and then like in 3 weeks be like, yeah, I can spend $10 again, like, and just considerably do it versus spending 140 and then be like, I'm not going to spend money for a year.
Yeah.
Right. Like, so it's a little bit more of a mental game. Which, fun fact, side note, they've done studies about, and they've proven that it is easier to get people to spend money on microtransactions when the dollar amount is lower. So
100%.
it is because you're not, it's the same idea if you buy like a car, right? Like the lower the car payment, you're like, yeah, this is awesome. Yep. You can be paying, you know, $50 every 2 weeks for 25 years, right? So it's a smaller amount, so you're more likely to do it. Anyway, but yes, I totally agree with you. They have somehow mastered, I don't want to say master, but they've definitely done a better way of making people spend in this game.
Well, yeah, I mean, they bring you roses, so you're willing to say, hey, come on back to my apartment. Whereas CG was just like, hey, let's go back to your apartment.
Right.
And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Buy me dinner first. Give me some roses. Like, come on, wine and dine me here.
Yeah.
Like, so I've got some pretty colorful expressions for that, but we'll stay PG.
Yeah.
So that's at least GLU tries to throw you a bone. I mean, they're still a capitalist organization, okay?
Yeah.
Their ultimate goal is not us having fun. Their ultimate goal is to get our money, okay? But if we can find a way to sort of bridge that gap, you know, go into it with open eyes. you know. And you mentioned the small packs.
Mhm.
I got to be honest with you. I'm right there with you. I'm a sucker for them, especially the ones that have got energy in them or runes. Like
Yeah.
I know that it's only the alpha runes, and eventually those are just going to build up to the thousands. I've got a couple of beta players with literally thousands,
Mhm.
but I'm a sucker, because it's like, hey, this is the price of a cup of coffee, and Tim
Yeah.
Hortons sucks anyways, so screw it. I'm going to get this.
Yeah. Yeah, you're like, do I want it? Or
Yeah.
and that's totally it. It's like, well, if I just make my coffee at home, I can buy this pack.
There's your justification right
I
there.
haven't
See?
actually spent anything.
Oh
Really?
man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, no, that's
Stace-
that's what
Yeah,
you're saying
yeah.
to yourself. I've
You're-
never really
you're-
spent anything. I'm not
You're
any
just
poorer
yeah,
for
yeah.
it.
You're just reallocating that fund.
I'm just
right?
redirecting
So-
funds,
Mhm.
Yeah.
moving a few things around.
Exactly. Rebudgeting.
whatever you need to tell your other half. Hey,
Yeah.
perfect.
but-
And on that topic, actually, when I played Star Wars, I tried for literal years to get my wife to play. She's a Star Wars fan, but I'm a junkie. Okay.
Yeah.
But it was never going to work, right? Because she was not a junkie, and it was so deep. Like at that point, it was already two years into the game, and she was like, "Yeah, I could never pick this up at this point."
Yeah.
On the day of global launch, I woke her up early and handed her phone. I was like, "You have to play this game with me." And I knew, obviously I just wanted to have fun with her and build
Right.
something
Fun together.
like
yeah.
what we've built. But in the back of my mind, I knew it'd be a heck of a lot easier to open up the wallet if, she was on board. So now she understands.
Right.
She literally, before,
Yeah.
she was like, what do you mean you need $300 for C3PO?
Yeah.
That's a lot of money. What are you talking about? $300 for a digital character? And I was like, but baby, it's going to be the new meta. Yeah.
Yeah. Totally. Oh
awesome.
man.
That's sweet.
Rebels for the win.
Oh, it's true. It's true though.
On to Merlin's Tower, where we answer any questions you may have about the show. So join us on our Discord server to ask your questions, but we also pay attention to the live stream chat as well.
Mm-hmm.
The first one from Discord, Chip asked, with the Frozen return and introduction of Tech and Oceanic, what are the teams or specific characters you run into that are the toughest to overcome?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Toughest two lately. First is Hero. We talked about him a bit. Hero is redonkulous in whatever team he's on, just because of the constant free turns he gives allies and the evasion on everybody. Because each of his specials, what is it, a 2-turn cooldown for his give somebody a free turn. So he gets to do it all the time.
I don't remember.
Yeah, and I think it's like 2 on the instant turn and then 3 on the shields.
The evasion shield stuff.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
he gets turn meter from the free turn one too.
Yeah, and I see. When I see him in PvP, some people will give the auto turn to Elsa or to Dash, but a lot of people, and I'm finding this more and more common, are giving the auto turn to Hero, and then he pops the shields again, and then he gets his turn, does a basic on his next turn. You know what he's doing? Shields again.
Yeah.
It's unreal.
Yeah.
So I still, I don't have the claw. The claw is really the only thing that we have. Mortal Potion to a degree, or like Splash, any of those big group AoE spells. Their value is kind of going back up because maybe they're not doing a lot of utility, but at least they're clearing that evasion.
Yeah, and that whole team having evasion is killer. Like it's just.
Yeah. Well, you have to have the claw. You have to have the claw. It's the only weapon against it. But that is not nearly enough.
Right.
It really is. We still just don't have the tools in game yet, and I think they kind of mean for it to be that way.
Yeah.
So, what about you, Sarah? What are the challenges you're facing?
It's definitely Hero. I remember. So I was just trying to remember the team that I struggled so hard against was Hero, Gizmo Duck. I think it was Cora. It was another tech person. Darkwing Duck and Demona.
Oh, so a full tech team.
It was full. It was all tech. There was no like random. It was all tech, and I was like, "This sucks." I was like, "This is not fun." This is what I get.
Not fun for you.
Yeah. This is what I get for cackling. But like, I was like, this is not ideal. I think that especially if we get more Big Hero 6 characters in game, just more tech, honestly, more tech characters in game, that's going to be scary. Because Hero is so like I am more hesitant about facing a team that has Hero on it than I am about facing a team that has Dash.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
like I used to be like, oh, Dash, like I don't know, and now I'm like, all right, I guess I'm going for the Dash team. Like,
yeah. And we aren't even talking about his leadership too.
Yeah,
yeah.
Because everybody hates Sean Yu teams. With more tech, he's got potential with his leadership to be a big pain.
Yeah. If the Big Hero 6 has any kind of base speed, So and that's kind of where I'm at as well. The ones that I struggle against, I mean, obviously the maxed out Frozen are still really, really hard. And I pretty much just auto those teams or go around them in tourney. But those tech teams are like the hybrid tech teams. I'm seeing a bunch of hybrid tech teams, and I'm still trying to figure them out, because every time you think you've got it, you kind of got them under your thumb. Yeah. And then right towards the end of the battle, they kind of pop out and everything goes sideways. And then my Shan dies, or, they'll be going after my supports, and it's just everything kind of falls apart. So
the other one I wanted to mention was that Scrooge McDuck.
Yeah.
He is wrecking my Frozen team a lot of the time. I've been noticing people use him more in the arena because anytime you get a buff, he's got I think a 50% chance or something to attack you and steal your buffs.
Feels like 90%, but yeah.
Yeah. So he is every time, because I use the Peter Pan's Shadow for my Frozen team on Sven. So when Sven is getting these buffs and when this Shadow is getting them, all of a sudden Scrooge McDucks comes over, steals all of them, steals like the 4 or 5 guaranteed crits that I've been stacking up, waiting to use, and steals them all.
Ouch.
Yeah, no.
Ouch. Yeah, he's definitely, I mean, he's not on the same level as Dash or Hero.
Right.
But if somebody asked me to rank the top plug and play tunes in the game, he's got to be part of the conversation.
Yeah.
He really does. I mean, he's, like I said, he's less effective, but I mean, and the damage, I don't know, maybe it's just the buff, because he never really used to do, it didn't seem like he did a lot of damage anyway.
Not before, yeah.
Yeah, and then the buff, and he hit me, and he's hitting multiple people, doing all this damage and stealing my beautiful little setup.
Yeah.
Like I'm running Kingdom with Robin Hood, and with Anna now. So, I need that setup to work because, I've only got 3 attackers and 2 supports. There's no tank to protect me. So my speed and setup has to work perfectly.
Right.
And if it does, then, you're in trouble. But if you can disrupt that, then I'm in trouble. And that's what Scrooge does so well. He's a disruptor.
Yeah.
To put it nicely. I've got other words for him. Same words I have for Dash and Hero.
Yeah.
Do you see a pattern there?
You're careful with your words. The pattern of.
Yes. Well, I'm an experienced emperor. Don't let this purple mohawk fool you. I'm actually a very, very old man. Very old man.
Kraken asked, with the Frozen return, most players who saw the first Frozen event will have at least a 5-star Frozen team, if not better.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think this will affect PvP tournament, especially Conquest, going forward?
Okay, I'll take that one. Conquest
go
is a big one for me. Well, Sarah and I, before the show started, we're talking about territory wars. We were both, she still is a territory wars officer, I believe. And you're going to start to see things kind of like territory wars, I think, where you're going to see entire towers filled with nothing but Frozen.
Yeah.
You know, that's what this leads to. The second or third running of an event, you're going to start to see those teams everywhere. And when it comes to Conquest, you better be ready to either take out a full tower of Frozen or be dealing with 1 or 2 Frozen teams in every single tower you face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
You know, so that's how I think the most obvious impact is gonna show up.
For sure.
You're not going to be able to just like change your route to go around them now.
Yeah,
right.
No, that's going to be a lot harder.
Yeah.
So
then let's go to some YouTube comment questions. Porg4140 asked what we think the next meta will be. And he hopes they will have a Halloween update for October.
Ooh, that could be cool.
A little Nightmare Before Christmas buff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly what I was thinking.
I think Sally is one of the more underrated characters in this game.
For sure.
I do. I mean, she lacks a really good leadership to make her shine, but you give her a good lead and maybe, I mean, she's mythical, right? So maybe once we finally get that mythical lead, maybe she'll find a home, or we'll get Maleficent. Yeah, you know what? I've been saying that. I don't think she's going to stay Kingdom.
For sure. She's got to be mythical.
They're going to make her a mythical character. I'm not sure why she has that Kingdom tag. I mean, I guess I kind of get it, but she seems much more mythical than you know. But then again, so does Elsa. Don't you think?
Yeah. Well, see,
that one's a little more debatable, sure, but I don't know.
She wouldn't be wilds. She'd be more mythical. But Elsa grew up in the kingdom, didn't ever use her powers. Then she went out into the wild, lived in the snow with snow geese.
So that sounds like fun.
Yeah.
So because she never used her mythical powers too much, I'm okay with her not being mythical, even though she has mythical capability.
Fair. I think I'm a little too focused on like the roots of the story, you know.
Right.
I love the Brothers Grimm, and you know, I'm pretty sure the original version of the Ice Queen story, nothing like Frozen, let me tell you that. But it just seems like the Ice Queen is a much more mythical thing when you look at it through that lens, you know. But I'm okay either way. I mean, clearly she couldn't be Kingdom. You know, for the same reason that Galactic Ray could not be a Jedi.
Right.
You just couldn't put her under those leads. You can't. They're too OP already.
Which I think giving the Kingdom Squad Anna was a good enough bone.
Yes.
Be happy. Yeah.
We are.
Yeah.
So
Mike P.
Oh yes, good question.
With your comments about your wife getting to play the game with you, his wife does not play Star Wars or Disney. What tactics have worked for you, Zerg, to get permission to open the game? My 6-star Elsa might not be enough, and the 4-day timer is getting to me.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll be honest with you. When I played Star Wars, the only time she ever really let me open up the wallet was when it was like my birthday or Father's Day, or I'm like, you know, Christmas is coming. You still haven't gotten me anything. She's like, okay, fine. You know, stop annoying me. That's fine. But once I got her into the game and she was like, well, I need a VIP. If you're getting a VIP, then I need a VIP. So that really helped. No, honestly, the best thing is to just be honest with her, you know, and if it's not something that you can really do, then, you know, I hate to be so on the nose, but sometimes you have to let it go. You know,
Oh.
it's true. It's true. I let it go the first time. It hurt and I regretted it. But at the same time, I'm looking at my kingdom team that I mean, it's not finished. It's not T7, but it very rarely gets beaten in Conquest.
Yeah.
So there's a trade-off, you know. I didn't have Frozen right off the hop, and I had to struggle through the frozen swamp of tourney. But yeah, you know, it all works out in the end. So I wish you good luck. I really do, man. But get her to play the game. That's really the best thing you can do.
That's going to be the easiest option
It
if
helps.
she's playing the game.
But, you know, always be honest. Always be honest.
And last but not least, let's head to Li Shang's training ground to talk about who we are currently training in the game. Because somehow I'll make a sorcerer.
Oh.
So I have, you know, just gotten enough stuff to get my Elsa unlocked, 6-star, and then to gear tier 5. I am working on the ability mats for her, which it might change my opinion of her on the squad. Because right now I'm like, okay, she's fine, and I like the stun once I get tactics on her from Olaf. But still, it's Sven running the show. It might change once I get to max out the ability.
Oh yeah.
Then besides that, I have been working on gearing up my Jack Sparrow. I did not jump on the train. I've seen a lot of people use him, but because he doesn't have synergy with any leader, I did not care to build him up. But the Sorcerer Stone event that we just had needs Oceanic. Where I just needed 2 at gear 4 or gear 5. No, gear 4, however many stars. I had my aerial ready, but did not have Jack Sparrow. So I did not get the special stuff I need to upgrade my speed stones. So that's my number 1 priority, is getting his gear up.
Yeah.
I had to spend to get into the 3rd tier.
Oh.
Yeah.
She knows.
That's a worthy, because these don't only come around so often. This specific one for these specific stones.
That's what I said when I asked her permission. You know. But let's full transparency. It was Hook, so I'm like, another dagger in my heart.
Yeah. Oh,
you know?
No. Oh no.
I had to get that little $14 Hook pack. Because I mean, when I first started the game, I was like, you could not pay me to work on this guy.
Right.
You know.
Now.
And now, you know,
I'm going to pay you to work on this guy.
Yeah. So, very well said, by the way. Sorry, go ahead, Sarah.
No, I was gonna say I was going into the, I think it's tournament, whatever, one of the stores, and I was scrolling, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna buy some Tinkerbell tokens here, like.
Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah,
I've been doing that.
I needed someone to get me over the hump to qualify for it. I was like, the rest of them can carry me, but like, I just needed someone to get me in.
Yeah. I've been doing that.
Yeah, it's bad.
Okay, so what are you working on, Sarah?
Yeah.
I am farming right now, training Gantu and Cobra Bubbles, so I can do the Stitch Tower. Being done the frozen bit is awesome.
Yes.
And then I am working on gear for Sven. So I have Anna, Elsa, and Kristoff are at tier 6. So I just have Sven and Olaf to get to tier 6, and they'll be set.
Right. Nice.
Yeah. And then I am also, when I'm not doing that, working on my chunk tokens, because figure I might as well work on somebody else.
Yeah, and you got to get those single elite nodes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, those are the ones. So
Very high priority.
yeah, I'm like, well, I might as well work on somebody here. So
Mhm.
those are them.
So I'm actually, as I mentioned before, I'm kind of like I got Anna and Elsa to tier 6 and the rest to 5, and I'm kind of just sticking a pin in it for now.
Yeah.
So for gear, I'm bringing Mickey up to T7. I've got T7 Shan Yu. Everybody else is T6 on the team. So I'm bringing that whole team up to T7 unless something changes. But in terms of farming, it's all about the elite nodes.
Yeah.
So when I first got into this game, one of the first things I did was to cross-reference, the top character tier list with the single farms.
Yeah.
Right. Because as much as we hate having every character on Grand, at least you can get through it quickly.
Yeah,
Right?
you can.
Yeah.
You can power through that real fast.
Yeah, if you're willing to commit the resources or to it.
Yep.
But those elite nodes, no matter what you do, you're grinding that for a long time.
Mhm.
So I'm still working on Jasmine. She's almost 7-star now.
Yeah.
So Jasmine, Genie,
Mhm.
Simba, Barley, and Gant. Yeah, those are my elite nodes every morning, and then I get a double on Gantu because I'm trying to make up a little bit of ground. And then the grand campaign, it's all on bubbles.
Yeah.
All on bubbles. Oceanic, they may not necessarily be the next meta, although, I mean, nobody's got Stitch 7-starred yet, so we don't know. Maybe
Right.
they will kind of get over that hump. It doesn't look like they're necessarily going to dethrone Elsa, but maybe. But either way, I mean, Oceanic, at least in the midterm, is the future. There's so many things locked behind it. You've got your Stitch, you've got your Moana event, and now you've got the granddaddy of all events, the Speed Stones.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, so you're going to need it.
You just have to do it. And I was like you, George. I didn't really focus on Jack in the beginning. I went for a Kingdom Downtown Villain hybrid rather than running, Jack and Jasmine as a lot of people have. So only now am I kind of getting to him. I'm like, all right, let's bring him up to 6-star, bring Ariel up to 6-star, kind of bring in Hook. And then I'm hoping to make up some ground on Bubbles. I just got him unlocked today. And I'm putting a fair amount of effort into him. So maybe a Stitch unlock next time. I don't know. We'll see.
I don't even know where I am on Stitch. I didn't even look, actually.
I don't think
I'm only at about 16 of 50, 18 of 50, something like that.
I'm at 15. So I got, what did I finish the first Stitch tower with? 12, 11. So the second tower run, I got a whole whopping like 3 or 4 shards.
Oof. Yeah. Well, it's not, I mean, it's, you look at the energy refreshes. Like I was tempted, I've got a bit of a stockpile, and the last time it came, I was tempted to kind of wail out on it a little bit. But then I realized I had Gantu, but I didn't have bubbles. So I wasn't going to be able to get very far in tower 2. And then I did a refresh just to kind of keep autoing the node. And I realized right after the first refresh, it goes from 150 to 300. And I was like, whoa.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
So, I mean, that's like Alt and Kato territory. That is not Zerg territory. I just can't do that. So I did a fair amount of grinding, but I mean, I'm only, I think 16 to 50. So I'm really not that much farther ahead than you are.
Man.
The rewards could use a buff to that event, but the frequency helps, right? So if you're focused on the Oceanic team, and eventually I'm sure we're all going to get around to it, you will get there, and he will make the Incredibles team. This is Stitch. I mean, he will make the Incredibles team, not even a second thought anymore. You'll just kind of, he's going to eat Dash alive. I guarantee it. That's kind of where I think this team is probably going to land. I used to think they were going to land higher than that, but after Alt and I have had a chat and a few other people, I'm starting to think that maybe they're going to be positioned opposite to the Incredibles, whereas something like Tech could be positioned opposite to
To Frozen.
Yeah. And then Kingdom kind of falls down, and maybe Maleficent comes out and boosts them back up, or maybe Rapunzel, which I at this point I'm getting really excited for the possibility of that.
Yeah.
Okay. Confession time.
Yeah.
Maximus he's the shit. Okay. He is, honestly, like, Disney has got a long running tradition of animals that are not dogs, but are dogs. And nobody does it better than Maximus. And no matter how many times I watch that movie, and, I've got an autistic son, let me tell you, I've watched that movie like 12 times a day some days. No matter how many times, Maximus kills me every single time. I'm like wiping tears out of my eyes. That sword fight. This is the strangest thing I've ever done. And I'm just like, oh my God, it never gets old. Never gets old. So I would really be excited if Rapunzel and her frying pan came in and saved Shan Yu. Big bad Shan Yu. Right?
Yeah.
So that could be a nice boost.
Sounds good.
6 months, a year down the road.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I like it. I'm gonna throw a curveball real quick before we wrap up. Only because I know Zerg wanted to mention the community aspect of the game. So, real quick, Zerg, I know you've got conquest thoughts among the community thoughts. What are your what's your top little nugget of info you think?
Okay, well, as you guys have, we talked about a little bit, I built the Sunnyside Alliance. But as we started to kind of grow and move up the ranks a little bit, I realized, that there was something missing in the community, and that was a network, a connection between everybody. GLU, they accept the use of Discord. CG never really did,
Yeah.
But
which is huge.
It is. Oh my God, it is. But the official server can sometimes be a little much. So what I wanted to do was kind of do that, but without a lot of the noise. So I set out to make a network of club leaders and co-leaders. And when I did that, I met a guy who was actually in chat. He may still be here, Maelstrom, who he actually shares a lot of my opinions about just sort of the state of the game and the community and what needs to happen moving forward. And, I'll just say it, it's the elephant in the room. Collusion, okay? Conquest collusion it's a problem, and we all love conquest. I mean, maybe it's getting a little old and we need a bit of a buff to it, but conquest collusion is a bit of a problem at the top, and it's kind of spoiling. Like, this is supposed to be a fun thing that we do, while the whole world is under quarantine. It sucks for everybody, so when something like collusion comes along and sort of muddies up the works, it just spoils it, for everybody else. And so what we did is we've now established another server. So I've got a server called the Network, which is the connection for club leaders. Really, it's like I said, it's the official server, but without all of the white noise. And then we also have the court, and this is the one that's run by mail. And so the focus of the court is actually a conquest pledge. Okay, so what we've done is we've gone around and we've talked to a bunch of the club leaders in the community, ones that are ranked above us and ones that are ranked below us. This is not an elitism thing. We want to get as many people involved in this pledge as we can. So the pledge basically says that we're not going to cheat. We're not going to, 2v1. We're not going to collude against another club, because, at the end of the day, what is it? It's a couple of Davy Jones tokens and an ultimate chest. So the rewards are not really worth going through all that and just the BS that's kind of been happening. So because the community, I mean, let's be honest, it's not really the game that brings us back every day. It's the community.
Yeah.
I learned that in Star Wars. I played in a big alliance that kind of fell apart. And then I played in another big alliance that was just the best thing I had known for years. I've always kind of struggled with social things. So finding that group was just so huge for me. And then having this game as the glue that sort of held us together was fantastic. So I wanted to, reproduce that here. But then there was, sort of the stink of collusion, and it was ruining conquest in a way that territory wars was never affected. So that's where the pledge and everything kind of came into play. So it's something that's kind of near and dear to our heart. And Sarah didn't even know that she's actually already signed up to this pledge.
I didn't even know this.
Yeah. So Thraken, if you're in chat or if you're watching this, and to be honest, I'm guilty too, but we really need to post something in Discord, man, and let people know that they can't. I mean, obviously they never would collude, but we got to let them know that they're part of this pledge, because it's a big thing. And we've got a lot of support moving forward. We've got people from Maelstrom plays for Finding Miko, which is the #3 club in the game. And then we've got people from, Friends on the Other Side. We've got people from the Unfortunates. We've got, many of those sort of mid-range clubs, and a bunch of smaller, lesser-known clubs as well. Because we all kind of share that opinion that if you're going to do conquest, then let's just play fair. Let's play clean. Why go to those lengths?
So by collusion, you're saying 2 of the teams will team up, take out the third, with an agreement that one of them will get first and one second.
Yeah, and it's premeditated, and I mean, like, some clubs have even got dedicated channels in their Discord servers for this. So it's like, once I found that out, I was kind of like, wow, okay, we really need to do something about this. I don't set myself up as holier than thou. I'm not a ethics cop per se. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody does stupid things from time to time. But that's just like, come on, man, why ruin a good thing that we got going here? Right. So if we can bring everybody together and get everybody on board with this pledge, we're really only policing ourselves. The only people that we can hold accountable are the people who sign the pledge. So that's why the more clubs that join us with this pledge, the better off, in my opinion, my humble opinion, the game and the community will be, in general. So yeah, I'm hoping, that we can further this initiative, and much the same way that I want to help you guys further this show, because it's a great thing for the community, and it's a fledgling community. Look how long Star Wars went, and it's still going. We're still in the first 12 months. So if we kind of grab this thing by the horns now and do it right and sort of set a good standard moving forward, maybe we can, at least, maybe not eliminate it, but at least isolate it. That's kind of how I feel about it. And at least amongst our group, the people who have signed the pledge, at least we know that those people are going to play clean, and we know what to expect when we get those people in Conquest, because it's a ton of fun. It's literally not the only reason, but it's probably the biggest reason I keep coming back, and that I do the work that I do in the Alliance, because I'll be honest, it's almost a full-time job some days.
But it's smart, because I was saying this earlier, like, when you compare it to Star Wars or Marvel or anything like that, where you have like an alliance versus alliance or club versus club mode. For me personally, I'm still wrapping my brain around the fact that it's 3 of us, that it's 3 clubs fighting. So it is easier to team up, right? Because it's not one against the other. You theoretically could be like, hey, let's have at it here. And so it takes a little bit of the fun away.
It does. And it's so much easier to say, hey, let's just gang up and beat this person, than to actually try and take on, theoretically, 2 clubs, because you're taking on 100 people with only 50. I get that it's difficult, but that's also the fun of it, in my opinion. That's why a victory is so sweet. We went on a 3-game losing streak in Andy's room, which is the first time that's ever happened. Like, I only had 2 spaced out losses over the entire course of my career before this losing streak. And then this past week we returned to form. We changed up our tactics a little bit, and we were kind of playing the sleeping giant, letting the other 2 clubs tire themselves out. And we were not the biggest dogs in that doghouse.
Mhm.
You know, there was another club, Topsy Turvy. I'm going to give them a shout out. They played a mean game, I'll be honest with you. But they got duped. You know, we were able to kind of manipulate them into attacking the third club and tiring themselves out. And then on day 2, we stepped in and we're like, hi, we're Andy's room,
Yeah.
you know? So, and that worked out really well for us. And we got, you know, big morale boost. Everybody's happy and you know, participation is up and things are good. But when you've got collusion and things like that spoiling it, you know, it's just, you know, it's really hard to get people to kind of keep coming back every week.
Right, for sure.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and that's really the only kind of content we have right now. So
Yeah.
don't spoil the only thing we've got, man. GLU spoiled PvP by making it part of the daily challenges and pretty much forcing us to just auto all day long or bang our head
speed.
off concrete. Yeah. Oh my God. Oh my God. Don't even get me started on the speed, but yeah, you know, so it is kind of important to us to try, you know, and keep this clean and keep it fun. So, and Sarah was asking, you know, what would we ever do if two inter-alliance clubs ever met? And I to that, my response is I would get out the popcorn. That's what I would do. No, but I mean, in all seriousness, we would close off any sort of loops that, you know, allow one officer to access the other club or anything like that. Maybe set up a Smack Talk channel so that they can, you know, engage in Smack Talk. But no, I mean, at least for us in Sunnyside and the other clubs that I'm familiar with, I know that we would not, we would do everything in our power to make it as fun and fair as possible. And if Sid's room ever got matched up with Daffy's Dark Side, oh my God, that would be the most epic thing. And even if someone tried to collude, they'd be like, no, I want Sid's room. I want their head on a platter. And Jessie, my wife, would be like, no, I want Daffy's head on a platter, you know, because the winning club would have bragging rights in the alliance forever. Why would you ever want to collude, you know, in that sort of a situation? No, you want to spank your brother or sister club. So yeah, that's totally how we would handle it.
I like it.
Like it too. Well, thank you everyone for joining us this week and for tuning into the show. Thanks, Zerg, for being on.
Thanks for having me.
Nice chatting with you.
Yeah, anytime, man.
That ought to do it. And until next time, Jeannie, you're free.